I feel like when they played against KT, they looked so good on it. Oh, never mind. It was banned by Hot Lady for that very reason. There we go.
Yeah. So instead, we see them going to Battlefield, and sure, Wukong Gaming chose this. Hot Lady apparently quite good here.
Yeah.
I'm unsure as to whether that was correct.
The thing is, Wukong Gaming doesn't have any other maps where you could say that's their home turf, right?
Yeah. Anything like that. Yeah, they don't have a home turf. It's Cursed Hollow because it's like the standard map.
Exactly.
So, Battlefield of Eternity is where we are going to. Both the Diablo maps going to be very team fighty. Not a huge amount of backdooring you can do here, so the comp from last time will work. They just have to go more aggressive with it.
Okay, so the Abathur gets banned immediately. I think they were once again kind of scared of potential Greymane copy shenanigans, which is something that Wukong Gaming just executed quite nicely, actually. On Battlefield, this kind of strategy is even more versatile and even more powerful, I would say, because you can not only use it for team fighting, you can also use it to get the Immortal. So definitely a legit ban on the side of Hot Lady here.
Agreed, indeed. As what are we going to see as the ban from Wukong? Should just be the Genji, but then you do give the Ariel over. But that's fair.
That's fair.
I know. I'm sure you'd agree with me that you'd rather give Ariel over than Genji.
I would give any hero to the enemy team other than Genji. I mean, Genji's just nuts.
Shout out to Yellow Flash, who took my recommendation for the science show by Austin, which showed off the science behind Genji's deflect, which was awesome. He also did one, like I said, on Lucio's gun, which could literally end the world. And Tracer breaking the laws of time, space, and physics. But yes, there you go. Alarak coming in for Wukong. I don't think we've ever seen this.
No, we haven't seen it at all for Wukong Gaming, I think. But they were probably observing E-Star a little bit because that's their go-to pick on Ooze, and he makes it work like a charm. Yesterday, once again, the amount of times he actually shoved someone into the stun zones was just crazy good.
Exactly, and there's the Uther. So very heavy lockdown team for the moment, the Alarak Uther. Great for fighting on your own Immortal. Let's see what they can add to this.
Yeah. It's one thing though, Tetra, right? It's one thing to implement something into your own drafting that you saw work well for other teams, like E-Star, but it's a totally different story to make it work yourselves, because Alric is not an easy hero to master, and he requires A, great mechanical skill, and B, perfect synchronization and synergy with your team as well, because your teammates need to be there to follow up on the combos. They need to be there to protect you as well, because you're kind of fragile. So on paper, I like it. A little bit skeptical for Wukong Gaming, though.
They have played Alarak. They played him once, and they obviously lost because they lose with everything.
They're Wukong Gaming.
They're Wukong Gaming, indeed. They have 5 heroes with a win rate above 0.
Yeah.
To be fair, some of them have a 50% win rate for them.
True.
That's their highest win rate, technically, due to the heroes they've only played once. See, if they hadn't tried to play Kerrigan again, they'd have a 100% win rate on her. They could have the
ruined.
Stat. Ruined. God's sake, guys. For now, though, Valor and Arthas coming in. Not going for that instant double support. They still can. They can still pick up Rhaegar if they really wanted to, and still have a very nice composition that way, especially with the Lightning Bonds giving them some good Immortal race. And what do Wukong want? There's nothing they could really ban out, and this is likely why Hot Sadie picked the Arthas so quickly, to make it so that the banning phase was a little bit more difficult. They're very flexible with their next couple picks now.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say Wukong Gaming is in a good spot. You know, they can still go for double support themselves if they want to go for a ranged assassin in a solo warrior composition, which is not the craziest things you've ever seen. I mean, if they go for the Greymane now, for example, which is still available, and then decide to go for the likes of Tassadar, go for the likes of Rhaegar, maybe even Nakarazim, then they can definitely pull it off, although that would make them very melee heavy, I guess. Now, what is Hot's Lady going to ban? They're cycling through, they're shuffling through. It would actually surprise me, I was going to say, if they don't ban the Greymane, because it would make so much sense still for Wukong Gaming.
They were hovering over Butcher for a while, but I think this was just tease J-How, as we do see the ban coming in onto the Greymane. Much more reasonable.
Yeah.
Sorry, J-How, but it is. I would love to see a Butcher as much as you did at Mid-Season Brawl Friend, but It's
One
so
day.
unlikely at this
One
point.
day.
One day we'll just see the return to that old comp where people are just like, oh yeah, this is still good, with the lamb to the slaughter gust combo.
Oh, that was great. That was by Navi back in the days. DreamHack winner, 2015.
Navi versus Team DK, one of the best series in Heroes of the Storm history. Right behind, I would say, Tempest versus MVP Black from
the Summer Championship?
Summer last year, yeah.
That was crazy. That if someone basically bought me a couple of free hours where I could just squeeze in my normal daily routine, I would spend those hours watching this series right now.
Yes, it would be awesome. So, we're seeing Cassia and Zarya coming in straight away, and this is not a normal Wukong draft. They are they've played all these heroes before, but never like this. This is a very standard meta-ish style draft, as we do see the double support coming in from Hot Lady along with a Nubarak.
Yeah, this is kind of cool though. I mean, you can send the Arak on a solo lane, and the Uther Cassia Zarya is going to be extremely hard to crack. It's going to be extremely hard to take down, especially since there's no magic damage on the side of Hotsley whatsoever. The only damage source they have is Vala, and although she could go for the Hungering Arrow build or the multi-shot build, which is ability damage, most of her damage overall still comes from her basic attacks. So Cassia, definitely a beautiful choice. Also brings a lot of damage to the table. What was that?
It's a be right back. There's a magpie in here.
Okay, go for it. Tetcher, I think I'm slowly starting to think that you have a zoo in your room. Because, you know, in phase 1 we had Tetcher fighting off wasps and mosquitoes, and now there's a magpie, obviously. I don't even know what to say. Like, I think I'm gonna have to find a magpie image now and put it on Tetcher's shoulder, and he could become like a pirate, you know, the pirate of Heroes of the Storm casting.
Okay, I'm back. What was the last pick?
I did not pay attention to it because I was thinking.
God damn it, Kendrick! I trusted you.
I was thinking of using a magpie picture on your shoulder, making you a pirate captain or something like that. Yarr!
What kind of just weird pirate? Well, I guess a magpie would make more sense than a parrot. To be fair, it picks up.
It steals things too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It makes perfect sense. Either way, I'll keep an eye out for the picture. Someone in the chat mentioned Stitches. I'm going to assume it's that, and that would make it Stitches. There we go. So, yeah,
okay.
Stitches, fairly reasonable last pick for him. They've got a little bit of burst damage already. I don't hate it, but Hot Lady have a far better draft.
Hot Lady do have a much better draft. Tetcher, by the way, is there a zoo next to your room or something like that? Because
no, I just live in the countryside.
We've had wasps and mosquitoes, and now it's magpies. It's crazy.
Well, mosquitoes are everywhere, dude. That's very much not limited to where I live. But yeah, like, I don't know. I just literally was waiting for the last pick, and then I hear flutter, flutter, clatter, clatter, clatter. And it's just like, wait, what? Oh, please leave. So I had to go shoot it down. But now, guys, we're loading into game number 2 between Hot Lady and Wukong Game. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the battlefield of eternity for our game number 2 of our first series of the day. It's going to be Hot Lady on the left with Y on Valor, Pommy on Ariel, Lias on Nubrak, Meng on Rhaegar, and Carlo on his Arthas.
Alright, and their opponent's currently down 1-0. They're known as Wukong Gaming, and they have Ailing on the Zarya, Laohu goes for the Cassia Zero on Stitches, Moon plays Uther, and Lang is going to field the Alrak to battle. And with the Stitches now, they do have a pretty scary pick come, right? The moment Stitches lands a hook, or the moment Alrak gets a swap or a shove combo done, they're going to have a lot of follow-up damage. You know, Uther goes with a stun, Cassia explodes, and Zarya, of course, uses her grenades as well. I mean, that's just what Cassia does, right? She just explodes, quite literally.
Cassia does explode. That's the hero design in total. It's just explosions. As Meg's hooked in, telekinesis, the Discord strike hitting 3 people as Carlo is dropped at the first level.
That was insane, despite the Howling Blast landing on multiple people for Wukong Gaming, basically causing them to stand frozen in place. There was still so much burst follow-up damage, and that's exactly what we were talking about. The explosiveness is crazy for Wukong Gaming.
Yeah, that was awesome. Only I can't help but feel the slight disagreement of, hey, we're against a Stitches, Cassia, Alarak comp. Let's all group up in a choke point and try to fight at level 1. This is a thing that me, Grubby, Dread, you, everyone has said for like a long time at this point, and that is, one team should not try to 5v5 at level 1, because one team should surely have the worst 5v5 comp.
Yeah.
So why would they do it every time? Why would they actively run into a non-advantageous position?
But Tetra, even the ancient Confucius said, go fight for vision every single time.
It's true, and the famous strategist, I can't remember who did Art of War?
Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu. The famous Sun Tzu, in his infinite wisdom, did inform in his best-selling book, The Art of War, all in, boys. So,
those were exactly his words back in the days.
Yeah, of course. It's a bit of an amateur translation, but I think that gets the gist. As we do see Carlo pull him back, drop in a route, as we see Wukong Gaming on their own Immortal. This is a more preferable position for them, and you can see, in fact, Alarak rotating down to join them in this beautiful position where telekinesis can get so much value by Valor. Oh my god.
And that's exactly how Wukong Gaming needs to execute their composition. The hook, the hammer, and the follow-up damage. Everything was on point here for Wukong Gaming. They even sent Stitches back to lane, so they won't miss all the lane XP. So far, picture-perfect approach by Wukong Gaming. A couple of auto texts here by Oriel probably won't make that big of a difference, but it's a little something at least. So, still a huge lead for the Immortal here in favor of Wukong Gaming. They're about to get level 4 as well, which is very, very important. They go for the hook, and it was barely missed.
Yeah, right now Stitches sees Carlo wearing that crown, claims he is the only king around here. Stitches, no, Bozo Stitches king, and tried to land the hook, but ever so slightly accidentally juked by Carlo.
Here we go. And for all of you guys who are wondering why Stitches has this weird skin with his internal body parts being covered, that's just Chinese culture. They normally don't like to display gore and organs and blood, so a little bit of a modification here on the side of Blizzard.
Indeed it is. Stuns landing all over Arthas, but he's tanking his way through. Zarya, consistent shields for her team, doing such a good job keeping everyone alive. There's the hook.
Oh, the hook is
this
good.
Time will form out. Great knockup by a noob, saving his team.
Stitches out of mana now. No more Hookaroonies, so he's going to have to go back and refill his mana bar. But what is Wukong Gaming doing? They're not sending anyone to the Immortal. They need to go there right now.
It's all good. They're racing. It's
okay,
good.
Okay, let's
go.
We
feel the heat. Zarya's just going to run into melee range and just burn this down as quickly as she can.
Gives it up.
Stitches is on the way. Here comes Hot Lady for the defense. Could this be too deep?
This could be too deep. Here's a choke point. The helping hand saves Ailing, though. Great reaction from Wukong. The double stun and double zone.
The shield, Discord strike from over the wall, and the split through the choke point nets Hot Lady 2 kills, and they begin to move back onto the Immortal. Valor, Arthas, and Ariel on the defense. In fact, his Lang doesn't even have full grenade build, so we can't poke this down as efficiently as he would otherwise.
It's true, it's true. And that was so well executed by House Lady. The Impale from a noob rank. MVP move right there. And Wukong Gaming unfortunately went for another beginner's mistake. Don't fight in that choke point. Try to circumvent it. Try to flank your enemies from a more broad and wide open area. But don't get caught there. Don't get isolated there. You can see how that Impale was just the MVP move. So well done by House Lady. But very sloppily done at the same time by Wukong.
Indeed, indeed. As Wukong poking down the Immortal best they can. Cassia staying at range. She would like a little bit more range, but she doesn't get that until later levels, so she's having to rely on her Q very consistently and a good stutter stepping, which is working out for her so far, doing a good job with this. Hook once again on Meng, but he's already in wolf form, able to pull back.
And that's the kind of lack of communication and synergy I've been talking about as well for Wukong Gaming. Like, Stitches was going for a hook, and it landed on Rhaegar, but Uther was at the opposite side of the map. There was no way he could have immediately followed up, and Uther actually doesn't help Stitches here either. He's going to fall as well. Stitches and Uther, the two are goners.
Uther now moving in, following Lao Hu as Lao Hu kites his way through towards his own base, but guess what? It's gone. The Immortal picking that off. Uther expires. And down goes Cassia too. 3 kills in just that one push, and they grab the 4. That is value by Hot Lady.
Yeah, and when you know that your 5th player, in that case it was Alarak, is going for the solo lane and trying to maintain the solo, which is not wrong by any means, but then the remaining 4 team members just need to play more passively. They need to retreat when they realize, hey, we can't hold that fort, we can't keep it, so the main thing we need to do right now is not die, so Alarak gets a little bit of value and we catch up in XP this way. Unfortunately, Wukong Gaming both died, and Alarak also left his lane, so double trouble. Wukong Gaming, they need to focus and they need to get their ish together a little bit more here.
Yes, they do. So, we have Hot Sadie continuing to rotate around. They're still not being super aggressive, though. They are not going to make the same mistake of not having someone there, or while someone split pushing, they don't know where the enemy team is. They don't want to get hooked and lose what little lead they have, as they do move into the point. They know where Alarak is because he's shown himself.
Yeah.
As Arthas is holding the point, at least for now. Feel the heat value, though. Full energy. And Zarya is shredding through this, killing off the backline Valor. As in comes a noob from the side, though. A great flank. And that's going to be enough to burn through Uther, the only survivor, and he gets taken out. That Zarya damage was good, but everyone else dropped down, and we did have the quicker rotation from Hot Sadie.
In those moments when you're Lang here, the Alarak, or any other solo laner, you're like, what's going on? My teammates are dying over and over again. Team plays, you can just do that. You need to wait for me. And I'm not a global hero. I'm not a Dehaka. I'm not a Falsis. So I can just be there in the blink of time. In the blink of an eye. So, Wukong Gaming, they basically went for the same mistake again. And once again, they fought in the choke point. They fought on a static objective, which was the mercenary capture platform. And when you have an Arthas on the enemy team and you don't move, you just stand there in a 4 versus 4 situation. Arthas is going to slow everyone, and not just removing the movement speed, but also, more importantly, the attack speed, which is so detrimental to the likes of Cassia and Zarya.
And Uther. Look at his build.
And Uther. Yeah.
Yeah, he's lost it. He's going for the attacks, reduce the cooldown off his stun, slow that down. You get less value out of level 1 talent. You get less mana back. You get less stuns. You get you still get more than you would normally, but yeah, losing a bit of value on that Uther.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Hammer of the Lightbringer, very basic attack dependent. Now, Ailing getting caught on the Zarya. And unfortunately, Zarya is one of the most immobile heroes in the game. No escape mechanisms whatsoever. Moon trying to help his teammate in need. Lao, who is going to fall right now, gets the healings from Uther Holy Spirit, but it is not going to be enough to keep him alive. And yet another 3 kills on the side of Wukong Gaming. And Hot's Lady, they are absolutely dominating the course of this game.
Looks like they've won Alarak as well. They're moving up to the top area, but Alarak's taken a long way around and gets himself to safety.
Yeah. It's just so tough for Wukong Gaming. I really want them to perform well, especially after the performance against RPG, which was like a spark of hope, a little kindle in the darkness for them on their future in HGC. But if they continue to play like this here, especially on Battlefield of Eternity, I think they're looking weaker than before. They just won't make it, in my opinion.
Zero, however.
That was a good one.
Hands galore, just sniping teammates, threading the needle.
Well done.
Putting them out of danger several times now.
That was really, really well done. So, level 10 is around the corner. All they need to do now is not die. Don't die for the forward, Wukong Gaming. I beg you. There's no 13 nearby. You can still fight 10 against 12. Let's go for it.
It's 100% shield, though. It's going to do so much damage. It hasn't even taken a shot. Wukong Gaming moving back here. I don't know what you thought you'd achieve with that. I guess you have Gorge, but it's a noob, so
yeah.
You can see Stitches pulling back. I disagree completely with most of what Zarya has picked, except like none of it synergizes together at all.
Oh my god, yeah. The Zarya's build is an abomination. We're going to have to talk about this after the game for sure.
Yes, we will, as we do see the sieging coming in. After this, like, I should have been Syndra so we could win the game right now. But no, he's got Army of the Dead because he's sensible. Let's begin to wade in. Arthur's moving forward, a noob holding the front line. As there is the Gorge, pulling Arthur's to the back line. Why have you done this? Why have you brought this upon our house? As Arthur's does get silenced, able to pull back, able to survive. And only Zarya has dropped down. A noob goes potentially too deep. Good knock-ups though. Damage, huge, very late Divine Shield on Alarak. He's able to survive, but the Immortal still full health.
Yeah, why didn't you use that Divine Shield on Zarya when she was basically getting focused by everyone on the side of Hot's Lady? And that free engage on Arthas being like, free slows for everyone, let's go! That was basically the nail in the coffin here for Wukong Gaming. Too many mistakes in one game, and Hot's Lady with a laughing face. They're going to take this victory, and they're going to take the series 2-0. Another secure 3 points for them, and that was an important victory.
Yes, it was. They are now technically ahead of RPG. But RPG, they do have a game still to play. So the current score is Hot Lady on 17 points, RPG on 16. If RPG go 0-2, Hot Lady will steal that 4th place position.
Wow, and that is just so nice to see how a team like Hot Lady, you know, we gave them a little bit of slack in the past. We were like, yeah, Hot Lady has yet again failed to impress us, you know, to make that big jump into the upper echelons of HGC China. They were always a promising team, a blacksmith of raw talent, if you will, that other teams then refined and forged on. But yeah, definitely cool to see how they have been improving over and over again. And RPG against KT, which is going to be a series later during the broadcast, it's not a guaranteed, it's not an automatic win for RPG by any means.